Yo, what's up everyone? Today I'm back with a video showing you exactly how I generated $50,000 in the DMs. And no calls booked, literally just $50,000 generated, not a single call booked, and every single person who paid up was all closed within the DMs. And yeah, just dive straight into it. So set up a Miro board here. As you can see, we've got all the results and all the proof here as well. I'll run you through these real quick. So 5 closed in the DMs, 36 closed in 1 day in the DMs. There's a lot here I can take you from all, but you're just gonna get bored. So yeah, drive to do it. So we've got all these things here. Every single person closed, and not a call booked. But yeah, many results I can keep showing. And yeah, as you can see, there's quite a lot of money generated right there, and via the DMs too. So this is what most online people make in a few months. Some people make 10 to 20k a month, but this was all done solely through DM closing, and I'm gonna run you through exactly how I done it. Now, first things first, you are probably wondering, like, how did this even happen and how is it all even possible? But as you can see here, I'm gonna run you through exactly what we done and how we managed to do it. So first things first, we have to make sure that the foundations and every objection is covered before even price drop. Basically what you would do within a sales call is just done within the DMs. So rather than, as a setter, rather than taking them through everything and then dropping like a calendar link from the booking a call, you just drop the payment link for them to get into the thing you're selling. And what we do here, are they qualified? Obviously this is going to stop the money objection. Pretty self-explanatory. What exactly they're looking for. Reason why it's important to get that is because the last thing you're going to do is drop the price of what you're selling, and then they're going to be like, oh, I'm looking for this on top of what you've got to offer. Then it's going to be harder to get around that objection. There's ways around every objection, but you want to just make sure that you limit out the objections before you even price drop, as the more you limit it, the quicker and easier it's going to be for you to collect the cash. And even though you've got exactly what they're looking for, it's always important that you check, is there anything missing? So if they confirm that what you offer is what they're looking for, always confirm, is there anything missing, right? Reason why you do this is because, again, they're going to say the same objection. They might say, yeah, I like what you got to offer, then you price drop, and then they're going to say, yeah, but the thing is, this is not included. That's why you always say, but is there anything missing from what we got to offer that you feel like you may need? And then, most importantly, when they're looking to take action, last thing you want to do is price drop, and then they be like, oh yeah, I'm not going to start next month. Like, we know they want to start ASAP, they just don't like the cost of what you got to offer. Once all of these four are covered, no reason why you can't drop the price, and then you make the sale. Which then takes us into what we actually use to the resources that were the very important things here that we use to actually be able to do what we done and generate what we do. Results obviously important because this is going to gain the trust. Because some of these people don't even know the person who I was selling stuff for, so they might think that he's a scammer, and the last thing we want to do is be known as a scammer. And we all know the scarcity people do have in the online space. When people are selling the DMs, or if they can't get on call to build that trust, usually the trust is done on calls, but obviously in the DMs it's a lot harder to sell, as you're just through a phone and you're trying to collect cash through a phone, which is pretty hard, especially as a DM setter, and especially if you haven't got the trust. But the way of making the trust is getting the results, and obviously proving that it is you in the DMs that they're talking to. Obviously this makes them know you have proof and have helped others in the past. If you've helped others in the past, there's no reason why you can't help them. Always good to have these, always have results. As when people do see results for other people, if you're already a DM setter now, or you're looking to get in DM setting, the chances are, if whoever you've bought the course, modules, community, etc. off, you've looked at their results and been like, right, okay, they've done that for them, so they've clearly got proven results and their services clearly work. And that's obviously why you either bought into them or why you're going to buy into them. And the next thing, very important thing, is objection handling as well. Usually this would be done on a call exactly, but basically when you're DM closing, everything that's done on the call got to be done in the DMs. Makes the process a little bit longer, but in the end, it's always worth it because you can learn closing as well. Don't get me wrong, it's a totally different scenario, but some people, no matter how much you dive into their pain points, some prospects will always have an objection for you, and that's just how it goes. That's why it's so important to be able to objection handle. But again, most of the time wasn't much objections going up because of the trust we had due to the results that we were creating for our prospects in the past. Which then, now I'm going to dive into exactly what the conversations were actually going like and exactly how we managed to collect so much cash without booking a single call. So as you can see, conversations weren't too long, pretty straightforward conversations. We had the proof for you, collecting payment due, and I'm just going to run you through it all right now. More proof of results, exactly what we got to offer. And yeah, this is an example of one of the conversations that we're having. So what the offer was a crypto offer, which is obviously why they asked how much sold it to actually get into the community that we were selling and the mentorship that we were selling. I've covered it out right here because obviously this is somebody's business. What I've done here, can definitely get some info over, can tell a bit more about your situation. Here I was just digging deeper into what exactly his situation was. Reason for that, as he might be needing something else, and I just want to make sure that we can actually help him 100%. So point me in the right direction as well, like I mentioned you, just so he opens up. So he's like, right, okay, they want to know exactly what exactly what I've done, my previous experience, and so they open up a lot more for us, so we know exactly if they're qualified or if we got to dig a lot deeper. So he goes in then and says, yeah, just need to change my life, man, and I want to put in the work. I want to put in the work to see the results. Would love to join your private Telegram group. Like, he's very, very hungry, as you can obviously tell. He'd love to join the private Telegram group. This guy come from a free group. As I said, yeah, let's make that happen, bro. Have you been trading in the past? Digging deeper again. Always good to ask this question, especially if you are selling something. And obviously, you want to know exactly where they are right now and exactly where they want to be going. So as he went on and said, yeah, but I don't see the success I want. So he's not seeing any success in what he actually wants, and it's quite clear to see that this guy needs help. He's stuck. Just watch your latest video, and I really want to just make this happen. Like, watch your latest video again, trust and proof again right there. And used to follow many Twitter accounts, but not seeing much luck. Again, this guy's very, very in much pain, and we know that we can help this guy. Obviously acknowledge the fact he's watched the video, and then go into the, we're happy that his videos are actually helping him. So what are you actually looking for exactly inside the group that we're selling here, that you need? This is going to open him up and just say, let us know exactly what he wants. So then this obviously goes back to what I said. This goes back onto what I said here when I was saying about wondering exactly what they're looking for and exactly what they need, because this is so important to cover, as without any of this being covered there's literally no point in price dropping anything. And then as he said, yeah, to get the best calls and to get the best profits, how much is the fee to get in? This guy was very money hungry, but at this moment in time he wasn't actually, we hadn't qualified him the right way just yet, because we're quite early in the conversation. He was always asking how much is the fee, how much is the fee. But then I obviously went on and said, if now's the right time, bro, and you're serious about making results and getting involved, I can get more info over to you. Reason why I said this, because again, right time, as I mentioned in the previous things that we want to cover, the previous things that we want to cover before we do price drop, and then once he says it's the right time, then I've kind of got the heads up to price drop. And after that, we go into I really want to start ASAP. This is a very, very green, this is like a big green flag. He wants to start ASAP. That means that if, for example, I did price drop in this conversation and he said, oh, I'm looking to start further on the line, I can always reply back to this and be like, whoa, what happened here, bro? You said you want to start ASAP. Are you going back on yourself or something like that? And again, you want to start ASAP, so I obviously take into account he'd appreciate it a lot that I can get more information over. So I went on and said, just to clarify, it's only the calls that you're after, and the calls that he's after, Again, if it's only the calls he's after and I can provide more than the calls, which we was providing more than the calls, then I know that he's not going to say, "Oh, right, okay, you don't actually have what I got to offer," but that's why it's always good to make them feel heard. And so yeah, as I said, we're at the point right now where we want to make sure that they actually have another source of income. This guy's clearly not a full-time trader, and this just takes us down into asking if they even got a job, because he's not a full-time trader, so he clearly doesn't have a lot in his trading account. So this is why we always ask if they got a job, and exactly why this is our qualification phase, because they got to be able to fund what we offer. And then we go into acknowledging what he says, full-time master, we'll have to see it, and then I send this, does that sound useful, brother? Yeah, that would be great. And just goes into how can I get started. I'm really keen, happy to let you in, bro. Price right now is obviously the price of the offer for lifetime. As you can imagine, it's going super quick. This year going super quick, causing urgency, and he's going to think, right, okay, if I don't pay now, then the results are going to be going. And obviously slots are filling up crazy as well. It's obviously going to cause more urgency again, which then takes us down to drop in results right here. Again, more trust from the client as we're dropping more results here. Green flag again, as he's going to think, right, okay, they done it for them, so he can do it for me. And straight after I dropped the results, I went into saying, these are results that our members are seeing inside too, bro. Looking forward to have you get in these results too. Again, causing urgency and saying that what we've offered in the past can also work for him. If there's anything else you want to ask, bro, feel free to drop me a message. Taking myself away from the outcome and just telling him if there's anything else you want, bro, you let me know. And he then arcs the conversation over to asking about something totally different to what we even offer. Another thing of our offers before beginner, it wasn't really the right thing. It was like a light objection. I know you have a certain thing that we did offer at the time. How much you charge it for beginners? I don't really recommend it, as obviously he just tried coming away from how much what we offered now, and he tried coming away from the price. But we obviously had to dig deeper because this guy's a beginner. He couldn't really get the other offer that we had, so we kind of just wanted to do it. We just said that something big in the future, so if they get what we get now, then they can go on to that in the future. And so he kind of knows that what he's buying is more of a beginner friendly course for him and not so much what he wanted here. So obviously asking, does that make sense? Yeah, 100%, thanks for that. And then obviously going into here, no worries, bro. The last thing I want you to do is waste their money on something, because what you gotta remember is we don't want them wasting money on something. If somebody's not ready for something, then we don't want to sell them on something they're not even ready for. So obviously you just want to get them back into what we got to offer you. And yeah, that's literally how the conversations go and how the conversations were going from majority of the people. Lastly, do you have any references about DJ? I just want to make sure to say from my end, got plenty, and I just sent them a ton of results that we had inside the group. And how many do you want me to send, bro? This for him is a big green flag. How many do you want me to send, bro? What you gotta remember is, how many do you want me to send? That means I can send so many results over, building up trust again. Can send as many as need. Okay. Also, what time is the group most active? Because obviously the calls in the group and time zones, and that obviously was an issue right there. But it was another little light objection. We had to say, members from all over the world, to be honest. So let's run it. Send screenshot, went done, and then he paid up. But what I will go into here real quick, let me just get you over to the side, is a lot of that conversation right there was built up from trust. If you know what I done, I was always sending results. I was always making sure what we offered fit their needs, and I just overall just made sure that they were happy to join and that they realized what they were actually paying for. As you don't want to sell somebody something that they don't actually like and they're not going to pay for, not going to get use out of. It's all about getting money at some points, but you got to work on an offer that genuinely cares about their clients and genuinely wants them to succeed. That's why we took them away from the higher ticket thing and put them onto the lower ticket. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Really do appreciate it. Any questions you want,